Paul M.E. Mueller. I feel like we've had that name before.
We have.
Brian, you said Magellan almost made it back to Spain. He died in the Philippines. It's barely over halfway back to Spain and a far cry from almost. Perhaps a globe would have been a helpful prop for this episode. Wow. I like the heat. I like the heat he brought
they're coming for you.
Well,
yeah.
Dusty ain't going to have no globe on here.
Perhaps a globe would have been nice to have on set. Coming with the attitude.
You're right.
Paul E. Mueller with the sass.
You're right, though. You bring a globe in here, I'll flatten it down.
It's going to be a pool table
Yeah.
pretty soon.
Maybe a map would have been good for you too.
He is right though. In my mind, so Magellan was the first one to sail around the way around, or his crew was.
Yeah.
He died in the Philippines, but in my mind, you make it all the way back to almost mainland Asia.
Mm-hmm.
You're almost made it, but that's a pretty long distance still to Spain.
Mm-hmm.
As he points out, almost halfway. So.
When I was in Alaska, we were looking out at the water, and Matt Peebles, this guy showing us around, he goes, if you just head out that water, the next thing you know, you're in Japan. And Jay Flake was like, Japan is that close? He just meant that's the next thing you'll run into.
Yeah.
But we were thinking, Japan is this close to Alaska? We looked it up, it's like 8,000 miles away or something. But
it's a big ocean.
Yeah, it's a real big, the biggest.
That's what I heard.
I hear you can see Russia from there.
Not from where we were. We're the very bottom right part of Alaska, but there are parts where you can see
that was a joke where they really made fun of Sarah Palin.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? She was like, I can see Russia out my back door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think she was just making a joke, but.
Well, no, I mean, I think there are parts. It's very close, right?
Yeah. They're connected.
That's the Bering Strait?
Bering Strait at one point, yeah. I think the reason people objected to it is because it was offered as foreign policy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
How are you going to deal with Russia? Well, I can see it from my house.
There was a theory that I read one time that Native American people were from China that walked over the Bering Strait years and years and years prior and settled down in America.
Yeah, I've heard something like that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you would even visit
that's
that
kind of
thought.
the accepted thinking, and it has been for a long, long time.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Next comment.
Well, I guess it just depends on whatever you're saying is, whatever time frame they would say. But I could just imagine that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that was accepted. I think I read that in a Bob Dylan book one time.
A Bob Dylan book?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think they thought they were all closer together, the land masses, and therefore ancient man, that's how they first got here.
But I just wonder, does it even have to be ancient? It could have been, if
a couple hundred years ago.
Blowing in the wind.
If we didn't discover it until 1492 and then left, or whatever they want to call it, came over 500 years prior to that, did he see people? Was he talking to people? I don't know. But maybe it happened just 100 years before Leif Erikson came over.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Times are changing.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
So, people love an ancient thing.
I know.
Chase.
Like a Rolling Stone.
Yeah.